All right, we have entered a museum. I just got this property. I'm going to be putting hay onto it, and it has a plethora of interesting things at it. I was quite interested yesterday. I looked at it, and the owner is looking to possibly sell these things. It's not 100% sure what she wants to sell yet, but I figured I'd do an overview of what she's got real quick. You can make if you're interested in them, I'm sure I can talk to her. I'll be the middleman, and we can get you a deal, worked out. No lowball bullshit. That's what I'm going to tell you, though. So here we go. First up, Ford 8600. This one, I haven't even looked inside it. It has decent tires on it. Typical fan blower cab. I don't know if these have air conditioning in them. My grandfather had a 9600 and it did not have air conditioning. I do not see a compressor on this, so I imagine it's just a blower. That's all. Little toolbox, obviously full of junk. They usually do. There's weights all over the place for these things. There's one there and here and there and yon. Diesel, obviously. Sold by this company. Dual power, if you know what that is. I think it's differential lock. Has power slide wheels on it. Decent tires. They're good for 1 year, so they're good for 1 year. But yeah, always shed kept when it was here. So I don't know how long the man owned it before this, but here's a Ford 4000. Is it gas or diesel? I'm not sure. It is a diesel. So this is a Ford 4000, good little tractor. Got the rollover protection there. It's kind of cool. Even got a handy dandy, I do believe, homemade bumper on there for pushing wagons in. International loader with a 2000. It's a 2444 International with a 2000 loader on it. Seen some work, but these old things, they just last. They go. This is an interesting one. They have two of these. This is a Ford Commander 6000, like a 70-some horsepower tractor. And this is one that went through the rebuild because you can tell it has the red belly under it. And if you know anything about these, that may be primer paint. I thought it could be that it was a repainted. So what they called the red belly ones, they were the first ones out, but I think this is a later model, which were much better. They came out with a red belly, the early ones, and then they painted them blue when they went through the rebuild. So it's a pretty decent tractor. It is, I do believe, a 10-speed power shift. He's got air in tires. We're airing up tires because I got to move some stuff. There's a backhoe back here. Who the heck knows how? It's got decent teeth on it. The bucket busted through? No, the bucket is not. Got an open back bucket so that the water comes out of it. I don't know what this is. Probably a Ford. If my thoughts are right on this one, it's a Ford. Let's see. Definitely looks like a Ford to me. Who knows if it works? It is one of those old Fords. Corn picker. New idea corn picker here. I think that's a McCormick corn picker. We got a Ford Diesel 6000. This is I do believe, older than the Commander. Somebody's trying to call me here. Telemarketer. This is a one-row picker. It's got a tire that looks like it's ready to say hello in a rather loud way. You can see that bump right there. But who knows? I don't know anything about corn pickers too much. I never really ran one other than Timmy corn pickers. That's a Vicon mower, disc mower. I think it's a 7 or 8 foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a 7-footer. This is a 8N. Another 8N. Another 8N. A 641 Workmaster. Got air in that tire? Yeah, I don't know what years these are, but Ford made these little tractors for like ever. I don't know how many years they made them. John Deere 45 combine. Now I got to tell you, I was quite impressed with this combine. You could tell that the little bit of work that it did because of the augers. They're not even sharp. Not dented up, not beat up. This is a local machine that was given to him, the man that has passed away. It was a local machine. It was given to him by the neighbor right across the valley. Actually, not just across the fence row, actually. And if you look at it, you know, normally this stuff is just beat to hell, but it's not. Looks good. I mean, they put new blades and, you know, new knife sections in it. It looks to me like a 10-foot cut for a 45, John Deere 45. It's got Tim's getting in it. It has the cab on it. Decent lights. Looks like they definitely used it at night. What's it look like in there? Yeah, pop yourself out of there. I'm gonna take a quick look up. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you got your whopping big, what is this thing, maybe 45 bushel grain tank. Even these little augers here, the spreader augers, that's kind of stripped off, but what's that? How many bushels is that? 45 bushels. So it's a gear shift model. Wow. Everything is right here in front of you. There's your air conditioning. Is whatever the condition the air is, that's what you're getting in here. Your gear shifter. The window is open. Yes, the window is open. We need to maybe close that up for him. I don't know. I ain't gonna worry about it. But yeah, you can do all kinds of stuff in here if you knew what you were doing. This is before my time, but my grandfather had one of these and my dad ran it a bunch of years ago. Look at that, the door closes. The door closes beautifully. What is that about? Oh, that's one of those weird. So it's a twin door. Kind of spacious for your large body, isn't it? Did you fit in there?
No, I only peeked my head in there.
Yeah, because that's all that would fit, you big-headed ape. And somebody told me, you talk to me that way. Yeah, like, yeah, go ahead. I love the tires. I always like those single-rib tires. They're kind of cool. Oh, there's a pair of them. And if you don't know what this is a Minneapolis Moline corn sheller. I'm sure it's a corn sheller.
It says it right there on the...
What's it say? It says Minneapolis Moline farm machinery or modern machinery. That's what it says, but it's a corn sheller.
Still works.
Oh yeah, grain comes out the top. Cobs go, where the hell do the cobs go? I think
they go out that.
They go out this. This is just basically a thrasher, I would imagine. Let's see.
Well, it's got a single rotor in there.
A rotor?
Yeah, the rotor's right here.
Well, yeah, it is a rotary.
There it is.
Let's
There
see.
it is.
It is a rotor. Wow. Yeah, definitely a corn sheller because there's the corn cobs down in there. Good shape.
Yeah.
I mean, seen a few. Nobody's using these anymore. But it's here. If you're interested, I'm sure she would be willing to make a deal. There's a couple gravity flow boxes over there. I didn't look at them yet. Ford Bronco that Grant is eyeballing. Huh? Yep. Yep, he wants an eye. I don't know. But that's an 8-ton gear under there. 2 8-ton gears. This is a pretty good sized box, believe it or not. And are they rotted out? No. They're not in bad shape. They're not in bad shape at all. Let's see what you look like there. No, good. And kept inside. You can put sides on them because it's got the pockets for that. Oh, yeah. What else is here? There's another. Yeah, these are all 9Ns. There's other equipment in other buildings. I don't know that I'm going to get too nosy about it, but we need to get this Ford pushed back here. We're going to push the Ford back here, and then we're going to push that. We're going to push that International back in front of the Ford. So grab up that hose, Tim. and then we're going to get that. They got a little Jacobsen tractor. We got it started, and I think there's it shouldn't take much to push this one. This one here is going to be a bit of a pain in the ass, but if we can push that one back. Were you able to turn those wheels?
No.
You couldn't? Let's see. Can you fit on that old thing? Oh yeah, they're turning. Good job. You mean Magilla Gorilla couldn't turn that?
I was busy something else.
Oh yeah, being nosy. That's all right. It'll turn when we get pushing it. All right, bring that little thing in here, and let's see if we can move it. Corn planters. G20, G200. Huh? Yeah, just what you need, a little Jacobsen.
That thing's so wide for how small.
It's for hillsides.
Yeah.
Yeah, this thing will probably, if you get it started, it would do its thing. Let's see, grab up the camera here. Beep, beep. Watch Magilla Gorilla take the Jacobsen and back it up here. That's a nice little tractor. You could do a lot with that. I don't know who made this. Was Jacobsen made it? It looks an awful lot like a Massey Ferguson.
Yeah.
You can back it up farther. Get all the way in. Good, good, good. And a little, what is it, a 3-cylinder or 4-cylinder? Little 3-cylinder. Probably a Perkins engine, who knows? These little things. It looks, if you look at the front end of it, it's a shame that it got bashed in a little bit there, but it looks an awful lot like a Massey Ferguson.
It does.
But it could be a rebranded Massey Ferguson. You never know. Because what does it say on the castings? Does it have anything on the castings? It doesn't. Who knows? It doesn't say what it is. It's a. It is Perkins. Look. Here. Perkins. So it's Perkins. Yep. 3-cylinder Perkins diesel, which is now Caterpillar, right? I think Caterpillar bought Perkins, or however that goes. I could almost guarantee you this is a Massey Ferguson. You could look it up. It does. It's got that Massey look to it. It's wide. They got the wheels turned real wide on there, so you could, it's got brake drums. It is, but you can mow on the hillsides with it. It's neat. Neat little thing. All it needs is a battery and you're good to go. They must have liked good for 1-year tires on them. Everything's good here. Yeah. Anyway, that's that. I gotta go move hay. Dude, there's stuff out there. I'll show you. A rotom? Yeah. So this was built in the 1950s, according to the owner of this thing. And Alco laminated products. So these are little 1x2 laminated. They call this a barrel barn. And I like it because you can stack a lot of shit in here. No collar ties at the top though. There's no collar ties up there. Yeah, because you're not banging your head.
And you can go all the way up.
And those laminated things are pretty tough. But yeah, so that was built in the 50s. This is the longest portable elevator I've ever seen in my life. They just kept adding sections to it. There's 3 sections, I guess. It's upside down. Here's a hay rake. The hay rake got a couple of corn planters, 2 John Deeres. Obviously, the fertilizer boxes are long since rotted away because that's normal for these. The seed boxes are there, but nice John Deere. Oh, they've even got the plates. They got all the plates in there. These are like plastic plates.
Oh, these the counters?
Seed plates, yeah. Yep. But they're shoes. couple of short elevators, little, what kind of, I don't know what kind of drill this is, but I'm sure I can find out eventually. If I look, ooh, it had soybeans in it. Bin run beans too, because he's still got the pods in there. He didn't clean those out. What is this thing, McCormick? I bet it's a McCormick. If I fall through the floor, yep, McCormick. There she is, a McCormick. See what's, yeah. And this is another one of those corn planters. This corn planter is in much better shape. Whoever had this one, they took the fertilizer boxes off. Here's the lid to the fertilizer box, and I'm almost certain that you could almost find the fertilizer boxes. And if you've never done these are cool. So that you put your seed in there and your little thing, and as you run your seed out, that is your seed indicator. So it just drops down. But yeah, they're cool. Cool little old John Deere corn planters. Do you imagine all the acres you could get done in a day with those? And here, this one here is a Black Hawk. It's Black Hawk. I never heard of Black Hawk before. Oh, they were planting pumpkins. There's pumpkin seeds in there. That's interesting. You know, if you don't need to use fertilizer, which honestly, oh look, here's the fertilizer container. Here it is. Here's one of them. Not in terrible condition either. Whoever took it off of there, I bet if you looked around, you'd find the other one for this. There's a Black Hawk, and then obviously you take a look out here, and here's a whole plethora of other things. There's another Commander 6000, 8N Heaven. I don't see any 9Ns. There's a 4400, a 1550 drill. Oh, for the Vicon.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a little baler over there.
Yeah, that's a good baler. We'll take a look at that. But this is, you threw the hay in here for the cattle.
Huh.
Just,
It's really nice that they got the door there for that.
right. Well, the one here and over there. Wow, you got good at it. Watch, you just kind of step out over here.
No.
What?
No.
You don't think, you think I'm going to fall? Yeah, there's a lot of, I don't know. Yeah, it's no big deal. There's an old bathtub. God, how many tractors? Has anybody counted how many tractors are in here? There's quite a few. That's a 4-row on 30s. That is a conservation. John Deere. Let's see, how brittle are these boards? How heavy am I? I don't think they would hold Tim, but I'm doing all right. Yeah, don't you climb up here with me. You can go out the door. There's a corn binder there. I'm like, what is that? It's a corn binder.
Oh, there's some coons in here.
Yeah, there's some coons. There's another loader over there. Definitely 3-bladed Vicon parts, so that's where they ended up. So you could make that Vicon work. Those were actually pretty decent. This is not a conservation till. It's a till, a conventional corn planter. You can tell by the down pressure springs. And Tim is a little nervous, I think. I think he decided he would take a walk around, but yeah. Anyway, any interest in any of this stuff, I can make it happen, I think. All right, what I'm doing now is cleaning up somebody else's mess. So I'm not going to mention the guy's name that did it. It's fine. We all have had messes in our lives, and you know, and usually somebody else has to clean it up, right? It's just the way it is. But this was made, these are round bales. These are round bales that were made a bunch of years ago. I don't know how many years ago, but long enough ago that you can only grab them one at a time, because any more than that and they fall apart. And the spikes that I'm using are for the big square bales, so I can actually cradle underneath them and pick them up, because there's 4 spikes on the front of this thing, and if I take 2 spikes on one bale and 2 spikes on the other bale, they break in half and the bottom falls out of them, and that's just the end of them. You know, you can't get it all to where it goes. Now, net wrap on these things, it must be some kind of biodegradable net wrap, because the net wrap is pretty well gone. It crumbles apart, like it breaks apart. Now, whether it's biodegradable net wrap or whether it's just really poor quality net wrap or whatever it is, I have no idea. But some of the bales it's better on than others, and I have to get this cleared off here because I can't farm it when I have 30 or 40 bales sitting in the middle of the field. So I'm just going to be moving them to the edge of the field. And it looked like it was wheat straw or oat straw or something like that. That's what it looks like to me. But it's old enough, or they've been here long enough, that the autumn olive trees are starting to grow up in it. And that's the main concern of the property owner, is that the fellow that's farming it, or was farming it, he found out today that he's not farming it anymore, that that he was not farming everything. You see those bushes down there? Well, there's 4 acres there, and he's just letting it grow up into those autumn olive bushes. There's a cedar tree. There's cedar trees here. If you don't know, cedar trees are an indication of poor soil. Now, the owner had stated that they personally had put the lime on it, but you know, how many years ago, I have no idea. And she said that the farmer that was farming it up until today, he was supposed to have put lime on it, but I can almost guarantee you he only put lime on certain areas of the farm and not this particular field. Now, this land up in here, it needs rain, pretty steady rains, or it becomes dry. You know, it's cobblestone. And to be honest with you, it's not eroded. I thought for something with the slope that well, my camera's perfectly level, and you can see that the tractor looks as though it is not level. Well, that's the grade. It's probably only a 4 or 5% grade, but that would be enough for this type of sandy soil. It's good soil. I'm not going to lie. It is good soil. It's just farmers up in this area have decided that, you know, they got older and they figured they weren't going to put any more money in. And as the small farms became unprofitable, they just decided, well, I'm not going to put any more money into it, which is then a cascading issue. I am going to put in a hay crop, like right now. Now, the hay crop that I'm going to put in here, it doesn't care if it's 5.5 pH. I'm going to put in K31, Kentucky Bluegrass, on this particular field. The other fields that have had corn on them in the past few years, those are the ones I do believe he put lime on, if he put lime on. She said that he did, so I can't say that he didn't, but she said that he did, and I'm going to take it for that face value that he did. But the way this looks with cedar trees and stuff in it, I can't in good conscience say that he did put the I don't even know. That bale looks like it came apart a while ago. I don't know. It looks like, you know what that looks like? It looks like something was living in it. So I'm just going to give that one a push right across the field. I don't think I can pick any of that up. But anyway, I don't have time to be doing too much of this, but it's one of these things. I gotta do it. If I want to farm the property, I gotta do it. Now, am I making a mistake by farming the property? I don't know. I could be. Oh, and you see that wispy grass there, that Indian grass? In this area, we call that poor grass. So that's a good indication that the soil pH is in the 5 pH range. Now, depending on finances and what this hay brings me, I will not be putting any lime on this anytime soon. Maybe next year I'll put some lime down after I get it, after I get the grass established. It'll be all right. Kentucky 31 can take abuse. It's not a finicky crop like, say, what do you call it? Not a finicky crop like alfalfa. Alfalfa, you have to have a 6.8 pH, or if you don't have a 6.8 or higher, 7.5 pH or higher soil pH, your alfalfa just will not. It won't thrive. And a lot of guys that do a lot of farming and have attempted to do alfalfa, they just never did enough research to know and understand that if you're not willing to commit to soil quality before you put your alfalfa in, you're just stepping on your own member. Let's use that word instead of the more vulgar one. Because you're not going to make any money. Alfalfa needs high pH. It just does. This is really good soil here. I can tell to look at it. It's a lighter soil, but it will produce. I mean, he grew corn on the majority of this place, and according to the owner, she said she doesn't understand why, but he just kept doing less and less and less of it. And I understand a little bit as to why. Corn's expensive to grow. To put soybeans on this farm, there's a deer problem here because there's old. I'm going to turn the camera around real quick. And you can see up on the horizon there's old pine trees or ornamental trees. Well, when those things get too big and nobody wants to buy them anymore, what do you suppose happens? I'll tell you what happens. They overgrow and they become a deer haven. Now, the nice young lady that owns the place, she's like, I want them trees gone. She said, I don't think they should be here at all. If I could get rid of them, I would. And I was like, well, okay. I mean, that's not out of the realm of things to do. It's just one of those things. How much money am I going to make? How much time am I going to deal with it? Am I going to gain that much by doing it? Now, I can't do it for free. It's an improvement for her as well as for me. But it's one of those things. You kind of gotta take that into consideration. There's acres of them, a lot of acres of them. I'm going to push on a couple of them when I get up there. If you don't know how to push trees out, don't do it. But I can tell you a quick pointer. If you're going to push old Christmas tree stand or any tree stand out, what you want to do is you want to go to the south side of the tree. Actually, the southeast side of the tree, and push to the northwest. The reason you do that, or northwest, the reason you do that is because the prevailing wind is from the northwest, and the west or the northwest, usually the northwest. So you want to push into the direction of the prevailing wind because the root system to the tree compensates for the wind, because trees don't like to get blown over. That's why when we get those nor'easter storms, the trees all fall over because the wind comes out of the southeast and it pushes those trees right over. They just can't deal with it. So, all right. Yeah, and here I'm going to show you this prime example. I don't know why I got you looking at my nose. You see that tree right there? Right there. That tree is 5-6 years old already. Those bushes are 5 or 6 years old, and they don't start in the first year. They generally don't start for a couple, 3 years. So you kind of got to be mindful of that when you enter a property like this. These cedar trees, they didn't just crop up yesterday. It took them a little bit. Now, he's going to brush hog this portion of it off. I may chisel plow this just to uproot those, because even though you brush hog them off, you're not going to be able to kill those with a brush hog. Roundup does not kill cedar trees. I don't know why, it just doesn't. So, and I got a long trek to do here, so I'm not going to really stand here and talk all this time, but yeah, you kind of got to